This is the MTPredictor weekly update for April 15th. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good tonight. It's been a little relaxing time over at the Trump International Beach Resort. A nice place Mr. Trump has over there. But back to reality. April 15th, obviously the tax deadline is here. And that can make a shift sometimes in the market. So some interesting things in play here. You got the tax deadline. We've got options expiration Friday coming. As we know, the market likes to rally into options expiration. We've had our correction, as you can see on the weekly chart here of the S&P. As we expected, once we got into this major resistance area, the last few weeks we've gotten selling coming in as anticipated. Again, I expect this will probably be shallow. Also, to kind of add on top of the options expiration, we also are into earnings season here. So, market a lot of times likes to rally into earnings season. Though I think while we're in this corrective mode, there'll probably be very little room for disappointment. Any companies that come in light earnings-wise. Because of the strength that we have on the STF here, our strong trend filter, you see when this oscillator gets into this gray band at the top here, it typically is telling us that there's more upside ahead. That's why I feel this pullback, this is the weekly chart, may be shallow. Giving you another example, here our STF was showing strength. During this pullback here, we went on to new high. Another one here, STF was showing strength even during the pullback here, and you see it was a fairly shallow pullback. As far as the weekly chart goes, STF was telling us there was more upside, so even during the pullback telling us there's more strength, of course we did get more upside there. Similar to the downside, you see the oscillator gets into the gray band at the bottom here at this point, telling us there would be more downside ahead. Even after the market corrected, we got new lows. So that's why I'm thinking that, coupled with the fact that where we're heading into, we're going to probably have a shift in the market after April 15th. We'll see. Heading into options expiration Friday on the 20th. Bit of a light or kind of spotty news week as far as economic data. Your heaviest days will be Monday with retail sales, and you're going to have jobless claims and existing home sales and Philly Fed on Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday kind of light days, although you'll have housing starts on Tuesday. Nothing on Friday, but it is options expiration. So we'll pay attention to those as they come up each morning, but probably not going to affect things a whole lot. We'll see how things hold up here, or if they hold up into options expiration. If we get some type of rally at this point. I'm just going to take a peek at the daily chart here. And so here's what the correction looks like on the daily chart here. The next support from the daily point standpoint is right around above 1320 here in the S&P, around 1323, 24 area. Alright, so we'll see how well we hold up this week. You know, we could correct, like I said, all the way back to this 1320 area before we find some major daily support. But given the fact that we've got those things out there, we'll see how the market does. So that's the S&P. We haven't taken a look at the dollar in a while. Let's take a look at the dollar, because basically it's we've been waiting to see after this major low here. Here was the last swing into that low. I'm going to take our decision point off of this swing here, if it'll let me. There it is. Since this is the last swing into the low, the tendency is the market will correct back into this area. So we'll see if the dollar will work its way back up there. If we can look at the just going to pull up the Euro US dollar, you can kind of see on the weekly chart here where that is, with the DP sell signal Okay, hitting the target there. at 26.14. Alright, so we were expecting that correction earlier. Let's check the daily chart here. Based on the fact that we had on the daily chart this 5-wave pattern down, typically we get a correction back to the wave 4 DP. Get that on here. This area before the market has to make a decision. So it's kind of a critical area here. Obviously the market has corrected somewhat off that area. You had a TS4 sell signal. This one's not done on the daily chart, by the way. Okay, you see where the target is for that. This is actually a decision point off the wave 4 low. So what will happen if they take this area where the TS4 is out to the upside, chances are they're going to retrace this whole 5-wave pattern. We can take a DP off the top here, and you're looking just above 144 in the Euro US dollar here. If this area holds as resistance, then the tendency is we're going to see this target down here. The prior trend, which was down, is going to continue. So it's kind of a critical area here in the euro. Right, here's the daily chart of oil. You see the long setup there. The initial setup was back here. Okay, that did stop out for a 1-hour loss. If you're in that one, it's reset up here, still in the support area. You see the target there on the daily chart of oil. So we'll see if this is potentially a good buying opportunity. Here's your 50 period, your 200 period. It's below the 50, above the 200. And we'll see if this area holds as support. We get a rally in oil. We'll see if that happens with stocks as well as we're watching that. And then let's look at gold. This is the daily chart of gold here. You've got a little decision point buy set up here. This one, as far as our standard traders go, though, it looks like your STF just turned red there. So it's probably one they would avoid. But you see, if you did take this one, you're at the 100% initial risk line here, meaning you can move your stop to your entry for a risk-free trade. But I really wanted to look at the weekly chart on gold, because it tells a little clearer story. Again, your 50 period here, your 200 period, you see the buy setup that came in. These are typically very good when gold's in a bull market. These MTPredictor buy setups below the 50 period, above the 200 period. You see where the target is there at 1902.80. We'll see if this plays out. Now, if you had moved your stop to your entry, once you get to the 100% initial risk line, you're in a break-even situation there. But these setups, going back, the last decade, all have been very, very good trades here below that 50 period. This goes back to 2002. Just after, basically after 9/11, when gold began its bull market. So we'll see if this remains to be true, if this ends up being a good buying opportunity. If you look at silver, now we don't really want to put too much weight on the silver chart, and I'll show you why. If I can find my silver. Alright, look at silver here. Now we know this was a test of the all-time high of silver, and that was a wave 5. We got an initial correction, and that unfolded basically as into what we call wave 2 here. And let's see if I put the minor wave on. Alright, it's not giving us an ABC, so we won't call it what we call a holy grail trade. But the danger in this pattern is there could be more downside ahead for silver. But I won't put a lot of weight, because silver is a smaller market, compared to gold, less liquid. So I like to look at the gold chart to actually use that to time purchases in silver as well. You can see it's much more well behaved, if you will, when it's in a bull market like this. So we'll continue to watch these markets. Again, kind of a spotty news week. The bigger picture, end of tax season, could be a shift in the market. the options expiration tendency as markets like to rally into options expiration, and earnings season. Market tendency is to rally into earnings season, though I think there'll be very little room for disappointment for those companies that come in light. Alright, so we'll take a peek and see what things do next week and see how we made through options expiration here. And we'll be back to take a look at the market again next week. Alright, have a good trading week. We'll see you back then.